Hi everybody, it's Kathy here and it's Thursday, so that means we're keeping it simple sometimes. So I want you to scrapbook with me, or if you haven't already started to do so, use some bases that you've already pre-prepared. So last week I prepared this one and it was an easy one to come together, and then I went through my photos and I found one that I thought would work well with the colours. So I had pre-cut that piece out, remember, from behind the middle, and if you don't, I will put the link just here for you to go back and check that video. So I have layered up some strips, which I kept with this because the colours all matched, and this photo here I took on my way home one Friday afternoon in the very early part of the term, so it would have been in February, and as I was coming home Friday afternoon, the storms were coming in, but you could see the glow from the bushfire, and it was up over the ridge down in the valley, and the glow was just coming through the trees, and I just like the startling colour contrast that it set up in the sky and the bush. So I just like taking these type of contrasting photos. I just think it's amazing. I actually took this photo as I was being very naughty and driving, but anyway, I did do it and it captured it brilliantly. So that glow was just amazing to see with that darkened sky and the darkened ridge line of the mountains. So that's all I'm calling it. I'm calling it a bushfire glow because that's exactly what it is. And in Australia, when you see the bushfire glow, you know it's summer. And we often have a bushfire glow around where I live because there is the bush, and it's either going in behind where I live or it's going off to the valleys that are surrounding. So I'm just putting down the title here, which I cut out on my dies, and they are a wood grain die, so it matches nicely with the overall effect of this layout. With the extra strip that I kept of that gingham, which I like, I am using that as 2 anchor points, and I'm putting them to the top left and the bottom right. And from there, I'm also using this orange dotted strip, which I cut a tab out of for the top of my photo you saw me lay earlier. These are quick, simple little fishtail banners or arrow points that I am using to add as an anchor point, as I said, just for a die that I'm adding some detail to the layout. I love using these pre-made bases. They make scrapping those photos so much quicker and so much easier, and just falling into your layouts and albums a lot quicker. This one will go into my album. That is my favorite things. A little while back my son told me to just scrap what I like for me, and that's what I've been doing. I do love taking landscape photos and sky photos. I just love the colours and the magic of nature at its best. So I do have 1,000,001 photos of those that I just stop and capture, and so I do take time every now and then to add them to my layouts. So with a little bit of orange Nouveau drops, I'm just finishing off those little tiny clusters down the bottom, and it is pretty much the layout, and I just love how this has come together. I'm just going to add in a word phrase onto that tab, and I think this one says this is the best, and I just put it there together, and that is that. And I do like the simplicity of it. It makes a great layout, but look at all the colours from those photos magnified through the layout together. And there's that little tag that says this is the best, and you can see there how quick and easy this one came together. So have a go. I want to see what you do as well. Now, moving on to preparing for a layout for next time, and I am going to use these 2 strips here that I have left over from previous layouts, and they are 2 different shades of green. One's more of a yellowy green and one's more of the vibrant green. And with my paper punch, I just cut an edge trim there, and I now realise that it's a little bit short, so I'm just going to go back to my scrap pile and grab a couple of more pieces that will fit in, and I either put it to the top or I'll put it in underneath, depending what I find. So I'm going to start with the darker green down the bottom, and that's going to be like at the Field of Daisies. I really do like it. It's pretty paper. And then I have this green at the top there, but it's not quite where I want it to be, and I don't really want it to have a border at the top. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use this piece that I have found, which is from a 6x6 pad that I was using, and I'm just going to halve this to go in underneath. It has little diamond points on it, like arrow points, so I'm going to put it in underneath, and that's going to allow me to tie them together, which you'll see here. It is a very simple horizontal line which goes across the page and allows this layout to format together. Originally I was going to move it down further, but then I changed my mind. I want to keep that whole green there, and I am going to just trim off the top here, and you can see I've just used the back of a very flimsy piece of paper to match this all together. And then at first I thought I'd put it down there at the bottom, but then I carefully take it up again because I realized that that leading edge there was a bit harsh, so I want to tie them together, and that's what I've done. Is that little bit that I trimmed off at the top, I've now tucked in down there, and now you can see it all looks like there's a ribbon going across the layout. So here's my close-up of today's layout. I have a new base ready for the next one. What about you? Have you got some ready? Have you been scrapping with some bases? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll always get back to you. Thanks for watching once again. Give me a thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm landing a new one. Happy scrapping until next time, and here, I'll see you in the next one.